See, this is the thing. Everything that I'm about to say to you is not my firsthand knowledge. It is my firsthand witness account experience. I was a sex worker. I was a dominatrix before I got my record deal. That's how I know how the dark world and the sex world and the entertainment world run hand in hand.
I want to look at something. I saw, and this is a video from Piers Morgan, and he has Jaguar Wright, who is a famous R&B singer. She's in that world. A lot of you probably don't know Jaguar Wright because even if you were a little bit on like the top 20 charts of hip hop and stuff back in the day, she was more like the Roots before Jimmy Fallon made them household names. So she's very familiar with the circuit, even though you may not have heard of her. And I want to watch this because she's on Piers Morgan. She was doing like hip hop gossip videos, and she was talking about Diddy before talking about Diddy was cool. And now she's on Piers Morgan. And she's telling the truth. So let's just jump in and
vindicated by the events of the last few weeks?
No, not at all. Because he's just the beginning. Until him and his cohorts are all held to account publicly and legally, the victims, they're not safe.
How bad was it?
That's what I care about. I care about the victims.
No, I understand. How bad was it, do you think, what was going on?
I'm going to tell you right now that me, as a woman who has been in the industry for over 30 years, I've been performing live since I was 13. My first handler was McKinley Horton. I come to find out 25 years later that a scar that was on his face with a very elaborate story he gave me was put there by a woman who he assaulted. To live through these things and hear your elders in the business, people like Patti LaBelle say, just avoid him, honey. And being taught to be just avoid him, honey. It's not good enough. Not when you live through these things, you're still suffering the PTSD created by all of this, and you're talking to a victim that's 20 years younger than you, and she's telling you the exact same thing that happened to you.
This is what we want people to understand. It's like, there are a lot of people who are naive. I think people who follow our podcast, follow our page, are pretty much in line with seeing things the way that we see things. Like you look at Hollywood and you're like, yeah, duh. Hollywood is a dark place. It's not a place with dark people in it. It's a dark place with naive people in it. There are some people who are naive, want to make it big, want to become celebrities, and then they find out, oh my goodness, this person is so bad, or this person is a sexual deviant. It's like, that's what Hollywood is meant to be. It was built on the backs of criminals. It's a criminal enterprise that provides us entertainment, and then it sows seeds of debauchery and toxicity and evil into our brains through entertainment. And I'm not saying it as somebody who's holier than thou. I enjoy movies. I'm a cinephile, but I can't remember the last time I watched a movie kind of like blindly. I watch movies to learn and be entertained, but I have a keen eye. My wife hates watching movies with me for that very reason. We're going to stop. We're going to talk about stuff. And the same thing with music. And if you are in an industry where somebody has to, on the side, tell you, hey, just avoid him, then that means you are in an industry where you cannot blow a whistle on deviant behavior, on evil behavior, because the walls will collapse in on you. That is by nature a evil enterprise. Diddy is not some just some. He's not the enterprise in and of itself. He's a cog. He's a cog. He's an important one, and so he was protected for a long time. So this is a big deal. This is a very big deal that Jaguar Wright is on Piers Morgan.
You want to know why there's no vindication for me? Because for 4 years, I've been screaming, not just Diddy, but Diddy and Jay-Z are monsters. And the victim-making machine kept going on.
Jay-Z has been notable by his silence since these charges were brought against Diddy. Why do you think that is?
Because that's what he does. He starts little fires everywhere, forces everyone involved to go and carry water while he sneaks away without a response. That changes now, Sean. You must respond. You have no choice. Harvey Weinstein, Jeffrey Epstein, Robert Kelly, Sean Combs have one person in common, professionally and privately. Sean Carter. This has been a fist of tyranny that has been punching through our culture.
So is she saying that like Sean Carter, Jay-Z is more influential in this deviant underground than Diddy? Or like she named some very anti-prominent names. Like Harvey Weinstein, very prominent in Hollywood. Jeffrey Epstein, very prominent. That's why they were easy fall guys. You had people standing on stage at Oscars with pins for women. You know, the Me Too movement. Harvey, he was just a fall guy. Everybody knows what happens in Hollywood. That's why it's all just a game. The Me Too movement wasn't about caring for women. They don't care about women. Come on. People who are friends with Harvey Weinstein for years all of a sudden turned on him, just like you're about to see Diddy. If you follow our podcast, when the first lawsuit came out from Lil Rod, the producer, we said that the next step is for a documentary. And then maybe 2 weeks later, the TMC documentary, The Downfall of Diddy. And then you have another one. Now, I don't know about this one. I'm not very familiar with what it is, but it's 50 Cent. And 50 has been trolling Diddy for years. But that's what has to happen. We've seen it all the time. You see 9/11 happened. We had like 5 billion movies come out on 9/11. Why? Because they need you to think what they want you to think regarding what's going on. You can't go and do your own digging. We have to give you the narrative. So let's get some movies out here. Let's get some documentaries out here. And then let's memory hold it and it'll all go away. And people can go back to singing the songs of these deviants at their concerts, giving them money, while all the while subconsciously adopting their principles regarding sexuality, sexual deviance, debauchery, bestiality, all this other stuff. And what's so interesting about Jay-Z, maybe not Diddy, but Jay-Z, a lot of people will probably be brokenhearted more, not over the fact that he is a wolf that has had prey unchecked for decades, but the fact that he's nasty. That's probably more heartbreaking to the dudes who love Jigga Hova, that he's disgusting. And that he does the stuff that you probably made fun of guys for. Nasty stuff.
Culture and our society for decades. It must stop.
There's been obviously a lot of
cruelty-free artistry.
Right. There's been a lot of rumor mill about what has happened in the rap world. A lot of allegations that the misogyny in the lyrics clearly was based on a general misogyny towards women away from the music. And that clearly seems to have been borne out by these charges against Diddy, which if he's found guilty of all this, he's never coming out of prison. How dangerous do you think?
Thank God.
How dangerous do you think he is as a person?
I think he's one of the most dangerous people I've ever met. A lot of people have been questioning, well, she doesn't really know him. She has no knowledge of him. She doesn't have a picture with him. I'm smarter than Claudia Jordan. I would never take a picture with the devil. Everyone knew he was the devil. He's been the devil for 30 years. He's been covered and protected by not.
Now, my question would be, and this is not for Jaguar Wright, this will be my question for all the others who are definitely going to come out and say, yeah, Diddy was so nasty. There's going to be people who come out. Some people aren't going to come out because they know they're caught, and they're not going to even try and fake it. But people are going to come out and jump on the bandwagon like, yeah, man, Diddy was so disgusting. No, why didn't you say anything before? Same thing with Harvey Weinstein. Why didn't you say anything before? See, this is why I have a stance about like when you're a Christian in Hollywood, there are aspects about success that you probably have already had to die to. Hopefully you've died to it, because the worldly view or secular view of success in Hollywood, what it comes with is contradictory to your profession. Even down to the little things of knowing about the evil and deviance of somebody and never warning people of it, not talking about it because it's taboo to talk about. Most certainly not taking part of it. Paul talks about in Ephesians 5 that it's shameful to even speak of the things that are done in secret by these people. So I'm always curious about what the goal is for a Christian in Hollywood. I'm not drawing the conclusion you can't be a Christian and try to act, but I'm saying that you probably should temper your expectations. The same way in politics, unfortunately, in our country today. There are certain allegiances that will get you the success that we typically see on this side of the screen. So that when you are starting from the beginning and you say, hey, I want to be in this institution, I want to be in this realm of living, and I want success. If that realm is diametrically opposed to the kingdom of God, then success is, not going to look a certain way. I hope you realize that. Or it's going to come at a cost, a huge cost.
Not only Clive Davis, but Lucian Grange. He was selected to be the demon that he is, to keep the culture in line so the industry could continue to rape it.
Those are big names. Clive Davis, Lucian Grange. Look those names up. If you follow Candace Owens, she's done some things on those. But Clive Davis, Lucian Grange. Lucian has changed his name over time, or maybe his father changed, whatever it is. But those are big names. Those are big names like Michael Jackson started doing before he died. Before Michael Jackson died, he was talking about big names, big name execs. And when it comes down to the poisonous form of quote unquote black culture that we're given, that direction is set by the big names, and it's carried out by the puppets like Diddy, who's a puppet. Jay-Z is a puppet. Now Jay-Z is able to pull some strings. He's able to do some things. That's why you have nothing but hip hop in the NFL. You have nothing but hip hop during halftime shows and things like that. But these guys set forth culture, and we are sitting here being force-fed what quote unquote black culture is, that women should be sex objects, while also caring about women only when they want to kill the product of that sex in their womb, life, children. That's what hip hop tells us. Hip hop tells us that, you got to go and get your money, even if it means selling drugs to pregnant women in your neighborhood to get money. That's been in our movies. It's been in our songs. That's black culture, man. That's keeping it real. Except in November, you got to vote for Kamala, because we here for women's rights. We care about women, and we want women to be able to choose what they do. Get an abortion. That's cool. That's black culture. And we're also for our black community, sticking together, black community, come together, be unified. White oppression. The only reason we're getting all this stuff and people been held down is because of the oppression of white supremacists. It has nothing to do with the fact that we have been regurgitating the same nonsense we were fed and living it out. That's been fed to us, not only by people who are lying to you, but they're sexual deviants and nasty, in need of Jesus Christ. Diddy better pray that there is a redeemed jailmate in his cell. That's his only hope. It's all of our only hope. That's his only hope. And Jay-Z will be running for the rest of his life now. Until death, that is.
For all of its precious jewels. We have too many lost. The list of lost is ridiculous. And everyone knows Diddy was selected for this job. He's the Judas.
Do you think that if he's cornered in the way that he's been now, that he may start revealing things about other people?
He has no choice. His ego and his drug addiction won't allow him to do anything different. Anybody who thinks he's not going to talk is crazy. The simple fact that he's not saying more now only means that the people who have been protecting him all along, who put him in position to be such a horror to the Black community, still find value in him. He's got everybody on tape. They all know it.
Mm-hmm. Is it weird for me to say, look, my prayer is that all of this is exposed. I pray that it's exposed. And now here's the thing. A lack of justice in the Diddy case will not be a lack of justice. There won't, or I would say injustice in the Diddy case won't mean that there's a lack of justice. Justice is going to come. Justice is guaranteed to come. See, justice belongs to the Lord. He'll bring justice. So I'm not very concerned about what happens as a result of this case regarding the jurisprudence, though I do pray and I hope that all of this is exposed and that justice is served. What I'm deeply concerned with is how people who've lofted these individuals up, do on this side, how people who have lofted these individuals up will respond. I wonder how they're going to respond when they realize that even though Beyonce was in a facade of a marriage that's still a commitment to her husband committing to her, she makes music for women to not care about men and not be in marriage. She makes music that mocks and ridicules the Christian faith while calling herself a Christian. She makes music that says, hey, it's very cool to exploit yourselves and your bodies in order to make gain, because that's what it means to be a boss. You're a boss woman. You don't need no man. Go ahead, use your body to make money so that men who are inherently stronger than you and can abuse you and take advantage of you will give you money. Yet she's married with kids. I hope those people wake up, that they see that I almost said the CDs that you're buying. Yikes. Is that what? That's what the gray hair in my beard means. CDs. Who's buying CDs? But I want people to realize that the things that you get to enjoy in this world, look, enjoy them with discernment, but do not do anything because someone told you to. Some mere human tells you to think a certain way, behave a certain way, value this, don't value that. You need to recognize objective truth, think logically, and move with courage and purity. And all of that happens when you are a redeemed individual. Come to Christ, look to Christ, be transformed. When you are transformed, your mind is renewed. And when your transformation happens and your mind is renewed, you are no longer having an imprint of the world on you, but you are making an impression on the world. That's what happens. That's what happens. I hope those people wake up.
For those who were never at these freak-off parties, what were they like?
See, this is the thing. Everything that I'm about to say to you is not my firsthand knowledge. It is my firsthand witness account experience. I was a sex worker. I was a dominatrix before I got my record deal.
Don't worry, my son can't hear it. I have in-ears in. Don't speak.
That's how I know how the dark world and the sex world and the entertainment world run hand in hand. That's why the movie Blink Twice is so important. Salute to Zoe Kravitz. The sex workers that I have worked with throughout the years and continue to work with even to this day have worn hidden cameras. I have my own tapes. I've seen what they do. The ritualistic behaviors, the drugging, putting girls in the suitcases, dumping them in alleyways. It's
They practice religion in Hollywood. They want you to think that religion is outdated or it's archaic, that there's nothing to it, especially if you're a Christian. That's the only true religion that they will really attack. Even Jay-Z, who once said, never read the Psalms or the Islamic scriptures. Only Psalms I read was on the arms of my dudes. But now he's into this kind of like Islamic hybrid 5%er religion thing. It's interesting. They'll choose anything but Christ. But don't be mistaken. Religion is 100% practiced in Hollywood and entertainment circles. It's just satanic in nature. It is 100% satanic in nature. But man, they are the most religious people in the entertainment industry.
Horrifying. And it's all done under the protection of, this is going to be paid off. There's another NDA. This is going to be, it's terrible.
It seems to have been something that a lot of people knew about, but people were simply too scared to talk about.
Everyone knows. And every person that's sitting there trying to act surprised knows very well. The whole point of this, like Cat Williams said when he sat with Shay Shay earlier this year, the whole point of this is for them in a coordinated effort to pretend like none of it is real for the public's perception. But everyone knows what's going on, and it's been going on for years. It's been going on before Diddy. See, people keep looking at him like he's the Sputnik that came out of nowhere. This is someone who was designed to be what he is. We got to stop making Diddies.
Yeah, she's talk your talk, Jaguar. Talk your talk. I'll end with this. Hey, buddy, let me talk, okay? Jaguar just hit on something. First of all, it's known. If you are familiar, if you were into hip hop as I was growing up, and you still check in and tap in with different hip hop things, and you know that it was a plain secret that the hip hop industry was filled with sexual deviance. Dudes who were from the block would try to make it into the rap game, and some of them would probably be pretty good, but then they'd come back to the block and say, yeah, that's not my thing, man. A lot of dudes in there doing some nasty stuff, and they're only doing nasty stuff so that they could become the big star. And so it leaves people thinking, how'd the big stars get in there? You know, I'm not going to show, I'm questioning, I don't know, but the video floating around of Justin Bieber at a Diddy party or wherever he was, he's surrounded by guys, some of your favorite guys, Odell Beckham Jr., Nelly, Trey Songz, you know? So this facade that they put on as like the hardcore gangster dude from the hood, that's gone out the door. It's gone. And these dudes are made. That's why you can end up with these guys. You can end up with these guys who don't even seem talented. They genuinely don't even seem talented, but they're all in our face in music and stuff like that. I was going to attempt to name some guys, but like my boy Pun said on the chat, I'm old now. I can't even name these dudes if I wanted to, but they'll just go and find you the guys to put in front of your face and say, hey, go and try to be like them. Go and be like them. And make sure you don't have a positive message. So even with us coming up, Jay-Z was the one who was popular. Even though Nas was popular, he just wasn't as mainstream as Jay-Z. I wonder why. DMX fell off. All these guys fell off. I wonder why. And they were always embittered towards those who were the most popular. Talib Kweli, you had underground rappers and things like that that were not really as well known and as popular. And that was just the lane that they floated in. But Jaguar hit it on the head. These dudes and these women are given to us to be idols. And the best way to cure that and to combat that is not to try and wage war on Hollywood. Hollywood's going to die and pass away with this world. It's to wage war on your desires. Kill your desires for this world. That's the way you wage war. Kill your desires for this world and seek first the kingdom of God. That's the way you wage war.